This is exercise 3 for week 12, searching a string. In this exercise, we've created a program called Person Search. It takes an array of names, and what we're going to do is ask the user to enter a partial name, or the beginning of a last name. And we're going to help them try to find a person that matches that last name. I'm not really looking at the main method. That's not where I'm looking at all of the main method. That's not where all the interesting stuff is. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to create a string to hold the value that or the value that the user is looking for. We've got an array of people. Basically, almost like a directory of names that you might have for a phone system or a phone book of some sort. We're creating a scanner object called keyboard so that we can ask the user for some input. We're getting that input from the user. And then we're creating we're outputting a list of matching names. What we're going to do is we're using the enhanced for loop to look at every person in the string, and we are finding out if the person's name starts with, if the start of the name of the string that contains the name of the person starts with the letters that we're looking for, we're going to print out that person. You might find more than one match, and we'll look at a couple of different examples. Let's take a look at how this program works. So the starts with function of the string looks for the characters that you put in. It looks at the first however many, if you enter 5 characters, it looks at the first 5 characters of the string and asks the question, do I have a match? If I do, it returns true, and you can do with it whatever you want. If it doesn't have an exact match to the first however many characters you provide, it will not find a match, and it returns false. So let's take a look. First of all, we're going to ask for the first few characters of the name to match. I'm going to look for SM and see what we find. So I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to come down here, and we're going to start looking through let me switch over to my variables here so we can see what we're looking at. So my lookup here is SM, and the current person I'm looking at is Cutshaw, William. So William Cutshaw. Does William Cutshaw's last name begin with SM? It does not. So I am going to continue. I'm going to get my next person. It's going to be George Davis. Does George's last name begin with SM? DA is not SM, so we're going to continue. Now I'm looking at Jenny Davis. Does DA begin with SM? It does not, so I'm going to go again. Person now contains Russert. Does RU and RU, the first couple characters, the first 2 characters in Russert, the same as the 2 characters I gave it SM? In this case, it is not. Again, we've got Cindy Russell. Does the first 2 characters of Cindy's last name match SM? No. So let's try again. This time, we're Seltzer, Charles Seltzer. Is SM the same as SE? Nope. So let's try again. Holly Smathers. First 2 characters of Holly's last name the same as the 2 characters I'm looking for? It is. So we're going to go ahead and print out her name. Now we're going to look at looks like we got stuck. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to look at Smith. Chris Smith. Smith start with SM? It does. So we're going to continue. What about Brad Smith? SM? SM. We got a match, so we're going to print it out. What about Gene Williams? Williams start with SM? It does not, so we're going to skip it. If we go to look at our output, we will see that the names that match the first few characters that we're trying to find is Smather, Smith, and Brad. Or Smather, Smith, and Smith. Holly, Chris, and Brad are the matching names. This isn't a complicated process. We think searching, you get the idea. You think about all that Google does, right? And you think that searching is a very hard and complicated process, and it can be. But it can also be very simple. When we're working with small sets of data, it's really easy to do a search. If you've got an array of strings and you want to know if something in there matches the first couple of characters that you have, maybe starts with or ends with is something you can look at. This has been what I think is a really good example of the starts with function in in Java or in the Java string class. Now keep in mind, however many characters you provide is however many characters it's going to look. I only provided SM, so it only looked at the first two characters. If I provided SMI, it would look at the first three characters. So what it looks for with starts with sort of how many characters it looks at will depend on how many characters you tell it you're looking for. Or you tell it to try to match up. That's what's going to make the difference there. Of course, if you have any questions on this or any of the other exercises that we've looked at, you can email me, bsimbeck@ccac.edu, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at them, to answer your questions as best I can. Thank you for watching.